They said fate moves in silence, sometimes in the footsteps of a tired janitor, and sometimes in the trembling breath of a young soldier lost in the wrong hallway. But on a cold evening, inside a Navy training facility where polished boots echoed against spotless floors, a single dad mopping quietly after hours crossed paths with a soldier whose name he didn't know, and whose identity could destroy or transform his entire life. What he didn't realize was that she was the Admiral's daughter, and the secret she carried could end his job, or give his son a future he never dreamed possible. John Reyes had long mastered the art of going unnoticed. As a single father working 2 jobs, he didn't look for attention. He looked only for stability for his 9-year-old son, Liam. The Navy training facility where he worked the night shift was a place of order and discipline, but for him, it was simply a job that paid just enough to cover rent, food, and his son's asthma medication. He moved along the dimly lit hallway with his mop, shoulders heavy, eyes burning with sleep deprivation, but his heart steady. He had learned to endure. Tonight, however, something was different. The facility was unusually quiet, and distant thunder rumbled outside like an omen. As John wrung out his mop near the entrance of the north wing, he heard footsteps, light, hurried, and unsteady. A young woman in uniform appeared, her hands trembling slightly as she clutched a folder against her chest. Her short blonde hair was damp from the rain, her boots muddy, her face pale. She looked lost and terrified. I'm supposed to report to Command Office 3B, she stammered, trying to catch her breath. But this place is like a maze. I keep ending up back here. John offered a gentle smile, the same one he used on his son when he got overwhelmed. Don't worry. Happens to new recruits all the time. Come on, I'll walk you there. She blinked with surprise. Are you sure? You must be busy. Busy, he chuckled softly. Kid, the floor isn't going anywhere. As they walked, John noticed her hand shaking. Her breathing uneven. Something deeper was wrong. Not just nerves. Not just confusion. He didn't ask. Pain often hides best when not confronted, but he slowed his steps so she could catch up. What's your name? He asked gently. Sarah, she whispered. Sarah Thompson. Nice to meet you, Sarah. First day. She nodded but didn't elaborate. They reached a staircase, and John silently stepped in front, shielding her from the dripping leak above. Watch your step, he said. When they reached the right office hallway, Sarah paused. Her eyes glistened with unshed tears. Thank you, she whispered. You don't know how much I needed someone to help me today. John placed a hand on his chest. Hey, we all get lost sometimes. Even old janitors like me. She gave a fragile smile, one that carried stories she wasn't ready to share. Moments later, she disappeared into the office, and John returned to his mop, unaware that the girl he'd just comforted wasn't just any soldier. She was the daughter of the facility's highest-ranking authority, Admiral William Thompson, and she carried a file that held the decision about budget cuts. Cuts that could cost John his job. Sarah emerged from the office an hour later with red eyes and a trembling jaw. She walked past John, who was now kneeling to tighten a loose screw on one of the benches. He looked up and gave her the same kind smile. Everything all right? She hesitated. The truth pressed heavily in her throat. She wasn't just lost earlier. She was panicking, because the folder she carried contained cost reduction proposals for the base, orders her father expected her to evaluate. Among those proposals was a list of expendable non-military staff. John Reyes's name was on that list. I can't talk about it, she breathed shakily. That's okay, John replied softly. Just breathe. Life's hard enough without carrying everything alone. His simple kindness struck her deeper than any salute or command. She'd grown up surrounded by authority, perfection, and pressure. Her father, the Admiral, loved her, but he loved discipline more. Sarah had enlisted to make him proud, but all she felt was fear of disappointing him. She had been struggling with anxiety for months, but tonight's assignment sent her spiraling. She didn't want to be responsible for taking away someone's livelihood. especially not someone who treated her with humanity when she felt like she was drowning. "John," she whispered, voice cracking. "You don't know me, but you helped me without asking anything in return. And now, I'm supposed to." Before she could finish, the doors at the end of the hallway opened sharply. Admiral Thompson stepped out, tall and stern. His eyes locked onto Sarah. "There you are," he said with clipped authority. "I've been waiting." Sarah stiffened. John instinctively stepped aside and lowered his gaze. But the Admiral's eyes scanned him briefly, disinterested, unaware, unconcerned. Sarah swallowed hard. Sir, I reviewed the proposals." "Good," he replied. "Those budget cuts are necessary. Submit the final approval by tomorrow." Her breath hitched. Her father turned and walked ahead, expecting her to follow. But Sarah didn't move. Her mind replayed the moment John guided her through the hallway. The calm in his voice, the warmth in his smile, the dignity in his quiet, invisible work. John noticed her distress. "Sarah," he said softly, "it's okay. Whatever it is, don't let it crush you." Her lips trembled. That was the final push her heart needed. "No," she whispered firmly. "This isn't right." The Admiral turned sharply. "Excuse me." Sarah stepped forward, voice trembling but determined. "I can't approve those cuts. Especially not the ones that affect people like him." The Admiral's eyes flicked to John, finally seeing him. Really seeing him. John froze. Sarah continued, "He helped me tonight. Not because he had to. Because that's who he is. And people like him keep this entire place running. You just don't notice." The hallway fell silent. For the first time, Admiral Thompson studied John. The tired eyes, the worn uniform, the quiet strength. And in his daughter's trembling voice, he heard something he hadn't heard in years. Honesty. Heart. Courage. The Admiral took a slow breath. "John Reyes, correct?" "Yes, sir," John said, startled. "You have a son, don't you?" "Yes, sir." A long pause. Then the unexpected happened. "Come to my office tomorrow," the Admiral said. "We need to discuss something." John's stomach dropped. He didn't know if it meant trouble or hope. But Sarah smiled, relieved, emotional, proud of herself. She had saved him. Or at least she had changed something. And tomorrow would reveal just how much. If you want, I can continue the final chapter with a powerful emotional resolution where the Admiral offers John a life-changing opportunity, promotion, scholarship for his son, etc., and Sarah overcomes her fears.